Hey, what's up YouTube? Thanks for watching my videos. For those who don't know, my name is Alvin. Today I'll be doing a Corporeal hunting guide covering the basics. To start off with, let's have a look on the content. Alrighty, let's have a look at the base tree of the Corporeal Beast. Well, Corp has a combat level of 735 and it has 20,000 life points. It attacks with both melee and magic, while we can separate its attack into 5 different categories, and I'll explain them in a moment in depth. Corp is also weak towards all sorts of spear stab attack, while all other weapons besides spears will suffer towards a 50% damage loss, which this leads us towards Zamorakian Spear being the main weapon that are used. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, the Corporeal Beast attacks with both melee and magic, as well as a stomp attack if you stand under him. But in the majority of the time, Corp will use mage attack rather than melee. But obviously, if you are standing right next to him or up close, he would have a chance to switch to melee. Okay, so let's have a look on the 3 different magic attacks. For the first one, this is the Corporeal Beast's main magic attack. It can hit up to 650 life points and it's pretty deadly. The damage done by this attack is reduced if you are using the Protect from Magic Prayer or Curse. The second mage attack can deal up to 550 life points. It can also drain your prayer, mage, and summoning level by a percentage of the damage. If any of these stats are already 0, it can drain from your life points and stats, so super restore potions are highly recommended. Last but not least, this splash attack will target on the ground under you, and it will land and split into 4 smaller splashes like magic attacks, which can deal damage to any players within the radius approximately 4 squares. The damage done by this attack is reduced if you are using the Protect from Magic Prayer or Curse. Now, after the 3 different magic attacks, now let's have a look on the melee attack. For the main melee attack, it can hit up to 513 life points, and you will only be hit if you are stood next to the Corporeal Beast, and the attack can be completely defended with Protect from melee. And last but not least, the Stomp attack will only happen if you run underneath the Corporeal Beast, and this Stomp attack can also deal up to 513 life points, and it will hit very often. And no matter what, even you're praying melee, you cannot defend this attack. In addition to the standard attacks, the beast will frequently release its dark energy core that flies around the chamber from player to player, rapidly draining life points from anyone in a 3x3 radius around it. These leached life points are added to the beast's health. And there are 2 ways that you can handle the dark core. First of all, it is the most simple way: run and dodge. So basically every single time whenever the dark core is on you, you simply just run away from it, so it will fly to another person instead of you, and so on and so forth. On the other hand, a more common method being seen in RuneScape is the stunning the dark core. While the dark core is vulnerable to the enchanted Emerald Bolt effect in that it will freeze for the rest of the kill if hit. For this method to work as much as easy as possible, one member of the team should be designated as a stunner, and the person should bring a mithril crossbow as shown in the setups later in the video. When the core is released, the stunner should equip the bow and wait for the core to fly onto another player. The stunner should try to activate the effect as quickly as possible on the core. If the enchanted effect does not occur, or the core is killed before the effects occur, the process will have to be repeated the next time when the core appears. And once the core is stunned, a player needs to stand within its 3x3 radius, or it will continue to fly around after a while. At this point, it will drain life points from players very rarely, and instead of rapidly drainage, it has a really slow draining rate. Okay, so let's move on to the recommendations. Well, obviously it is the best to have a maxed combat character with 95 prayer for turmoil and also 92 plus herbs for overloads. But if you don't have such high level stats, it is best to have the following suggested levels. Okay, so talking about gearing, there are always 3 factors that affect your choice of armor, including your teammates, your character stats, and also your couple-based hunting skills. But in general, there are 2 standard setups. For any pro teams, this setup will be the standard. A Helm of Nesonot or Fighter Helm, Fury, Caril's top and skirt, D-boots, Barrel's gloves, Zamorakian's beer, RD cloak 3 or 4, or probably fire cape sometimes, and also the Onyx imbued ring. For this setup, we are looking at magic defensive bonus and also a step attack bonus. Okay, so I'm sure a few of you out there is asking me the same question right now. Hey Alvin, the gear you just mentioned is really expensive, I don't want to spend so much. Or probably you would go, hey, I don't want to risk that much, what else I can wear? Okay, so here's an alternative. Bring D-Hide instead of Caril's. Bring Glory instead of Fury. That saves you a fortune there, isn't it? And also, if you don't have any RD3 or 4 cloak or fire cape, bring a Soul Wars cape. And just in this setup, I show you the imbued Onyx ring, but if you don't have any imbued rings, just bring a Zerka ring. It's only 3 minutes out there at the moment. If you don't have a Zerka ring, then just bring a Explorer ring from the Lumbridge achievement diary. Okay, so after looking at what to wear for warriors, now let's have a look at what to pack. So here I have 2 sample setups for overloads and extremes, both based on a 6-man team. So if you ever want to take a supersets instead of extremes, simply follow the extreme setup and just bring supersets instead. And with my overloads setup, it's a bit different than the standard overloads setup because I have Rocktails in there and also Super Prayer Potion, and the reason for that is that when I ever get comboed by the couple base, I can always do the Rocktail Brew trick to instant fast heal myself. And the reason I have a Super Prayer Potion in my infantry is that sometimes during the kill I don't even have to brew, nor the couple beasts didn't use the stat drain attack on me, so I do not really need to use any brew or super restore potions. So in that case, while my prayer are being drained because I'm praying mage, melee, turmoil, etc., I would like to actually use a prayer potion instead of wasting a super restore potions, because sooner or later I might run out of super restore potions before I ran out of brews to bank. Core stunnings involves the enchanted emerald bolts, which means you will need a ranged weapon in order to do so. So you would like to have the lowest range bonus weapon in order to try to not to kill the dark core, but to stun it. So the best option for you is to use the mithril crossbow. Mithril crossbow is the minimum requirement to shoot the emerald bolts. So as shown in the infantry setups here, I have taken away a special restore potions in my overload setup to replace with the mithril crossbow, and also one Rocktail less in the extreme setup and replace the Rocktail with the Mithril crossbow. And obviously in your gear you must equip your enchanted emerald bolts. Couple based hunting is not all about meleeing, you can also range it. But most of the time, being in the team, or I should say being in a pro team, a ranger would be expected to be a stunner. And at most times, all pro teams will only allow one maximum ranger. So now let's have a look at my ranging gear. If I am a ranger, I would take full armadillo, ranger's boots, fury, Celtic crossbow, spectral spirit shield, and barrel's gloves, archer's immune rings, and also the others accumulator. While ammos wise, I will be using ruby bolt, the enchanted ruby bolt, since you will have a chance to hit a 1k damage on the couple beast. So that will be a big help on the team while you're doing trips. But for the best options, you should be using the Other's Alerter instead of the Other's Accumulator, and also the Unholy Book for the maximum range attack bonus. And this gear will cost me about 65 mil. On the other hand, if you don't have that much of money, you can use the Black Deerhide body and chaps instead of Armadillo chest plates and chain skirts, the snakeskin boots instead of ranger's boots, while the archer's helmet instead of the armadillo's helm. And obviously if you don't have Celtic crossbow, use a rune crossbow instead. Okay, again, after looking to what to wear, now it's time to have a look at what to pack. So as I mentioned earlier, being a ranger, most teams will expect you to be a stunner as well. So you can see in my infantry here, both infantries, extremes and normal prayer potions infantry. You can see I both have enchanted emerald bolts for core stunning. Otherwise, the ratio of extreme ranging potions to the normal ranging potions and super prayer to normal prayer potions are the same, which is 2 to 5 again. The game's necklace, and fill the rest of the infantry with rock tails. Alright, so after packing, you'll want to get to the couple base layer to hunt the couple base down with your team. So here's a question. Hey, the couple base layer is in the middle of the wilderness, and does it mean that I might have a chance to get PK'd when I'm getting there, probably from Varrock or Edgeview? Yes, if you do decide to run to the couple base layer, yes, you might have a chance to get PK'd, but there is a safe route that you can use, which involves the game's necklace. So basically, once you're packed, as you remember, I mentioned game's necklace in the infantry setup earlier, so just right click and rub your game's necklace and teleport to the couple base layer. And then, just like in the quest, the Summer's End, run through 2 caves and you will arrive to the 3rd cave entrance. And just with that third cave entrance, you can peek through and you can see the couple base inside. Okay, so all after the bestiary, suggestions, gearing, infantry setups and getting there, let's now move on to the tactics. In general, couple base teams are between 4 to 12 players, depending on your combat stats and experiences at Corp, so as your teammates. In the following section, all information is based on a 6-man Pro Corp team, which means all players are using the standard Pro Corp gear I mentioned earlier, so as Overload and Turmoil. If you need any other size team suggestions, feel free to post a comment below and I will try my best to answer your questions. So here's a general crop run I do. Once your team has all arrived and gathered at the entrance of the corp layer, set your quick prayer to protect item, protection from magic, and turmoil, while piety in the case of using the normal prayer book and berserker in the case of using extremes. once ready, pot up and pray up, and in you go. If you're one of those who use overloads, you might want to drink 2 doses of sour brews before you go in. Once you're in, Corporeal base will have a chance to mage you, and that's the reason why you should have protection from magic on when you're going in. Once you're on Corp, you can either switch to melee prey straight away since you're wearing the magic defensive armor, or keep praying mage till you became a tank, such as Corp is on you. But you better look out, cause sometimes Corp randomly spins around like a maniac. Now you want to pray melee whenever it's spinning, since Corp can randomly hit anyone who knows at this moment it slaps you in the face, and it turns around to the next person in the next second and slap him. Right, so once everyone is on Corp, you will want to spread around equally around Corp, and try to keep yourself a certain distance between yourselves to avoid getting damaged by the Corporeal based splash magic attack. At the beginning of the kill, you will also want to use your defense drain weapon, in most of the cases the Bando Scott sword. The reason is that you want to spec on Corp to drain's defense, resulting in a faster kill. Right after you spec Corp, now you want to start to drink 2 doses of your restore special potion, so that by the time when the next Corp spawns, or during the very beginning of your next kill, you'll have a full spec bar again. Moreover, once you finished your very first kill, check loot and go to the east wall and get into a Corp team formation. In terms of the formation, it only takes places when it's a 6-man or less team. For a 6-man formation, it's something like this. The blue circles are where you want to be standing at, and the red circle is where the Corp spawns, so make sure you don't stand within the red circle, since the chance of you being stomped on when Corp spawns is fairly high. Okay, so here I will show you another kill and we shall move on to the next section. Last but not least, the tips and hints. Today I have 5 final tips to share with you. Firstly, the soul split flashing. If you're on the cursed prayer book and have 92 plus prayer, and if you're confident enough, try to use the soul split during the kill to heal yourself, even when you're tanking. By using soul split, you can save yourself a hell of brews, which results in a longer Corp run. Secondly and thirdly, the use of familiars and cannon. I would not suggest using familiars at all, since Corp can easily consume your familiar, resulting in healing itself. On the other hand, cannon might come in handy when you're in a mass killing the dark core, as personally I don't think stunning core in a mass worth the effort. Now about brew sharing and group banking. This tactic is used by many smaller Corp teams, as this method can maximize the team's Corp killing speed by having the maximum number of players in the team at all times. Lastly, death. Touch wood, and if you ever die in Corp, you don't receive any grave. That's my first warning. But don't panic, because you have about 4 minutes to go back and loot. When you die, you'll receive a pop-up screen and you can choose to what to keep and what to leave. I'd suggest you keeping your Corporeal's top and skirt for saving the time running to repair after looting your items, and your main weapon, plus any items you do not want to risk if you ever have your protect item prayer on when you die.